Welcome everyone to another episode of our Global Employability Expert Series. My name is Mirta Aguirre. I'm the head of employability and coaching at Virtual Internships, and it is a pleasure to have you all here today because we have a very useful topic for you who are building your professional career. And this topic is boosting your LinkedIn profile. How to increase your employability chances by having a really powerful LinkedIn profile. And we're going to discover in today's sessions lots of interesting and useful resources and how to create a super powerful LinkedIn profile. And this is brought by Damian. Let's meet our speaker. Damian is an employability coach specialized in helping students boost their career chances. He has run more than 1,000 hours of coaching calls and has more than 20 years of experience working in different commercial positions for local and international companies, all of which he uses to enrich his coaching calls. Damian is part of our staff and Virtual Internship. I'm very happy to have him. He's a great coach. And today he's going to bring all his expertise to really make us understand why LinkedIn is a super powerful tool for your career and how you can boost your employability chances by having an attractive profile. In detail, we will explore what sections are important and how to convey the best information in each one, how to show recruiters you're open to work, and many more tips and best practices to catch your network's attention. So without further ado, welcome, Damian. I'll leave you to you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Hello, everyone. Thanks a lot for joining. As Mirta said, we're gonna go through this presentation in order to enhance your LinkedIn profile. We're gonna get the most out of the time we have, so I'm gonna start sharing now. I'm gonna be presenting in this slides presentation, but I'm gonna jump also to my LinkedIn account and some other LinkedIn accounts so we can find where to do the stuff we're going to propose and where to see some tips and recommendations. So first of all, the roadmap. We're going to talk today about just a quick overview about this LinkedIn platform. What is it? Why it's so powerful? Then we're going to talk about the profile, how the profile is structured, what are the main sections that we need to have completed to enhance our profile. Then about the must-have information that we need to have in these sections, some final tips, and then the Q&A. I have read some of you have already a LinkedIn account. Some of you might not have a LinkedIn account. I will be sharing later in the chat the link to create a new account from scratch by signing in into LinkedIn. So far, we're going to start working based on the assumption that the account is created. Okay, it's really easy to open an account. So first of all, the importance of LinkedIn. Why LinkedIn? What is LinkedIn? LinkedIn, they state in the website, they are the largest professional network with more than 930 million members around the world. And they state also that their mission is to connect the world's professionals to make them more productive and successful. So they are connecting us, you there, me, Mirta, all the people who are working. We can be all connected through them. Now, this is a huge platform. There are a lot of opportunities. Actually, let's move into the next slide really quick about this information in order to go to the profile. But just a few numbers, quick facts about LinkedIn, the importance of LinkedIn. For example, as we said, 930 million members around the world, 63 million companies listed in the platform, a huge amount of opportunities there. 117 job applications every second, so it's 170. It's really huge, the amount of applications these people handle. Actually, 61 million people are using weekly the platform, and 8 people is hired every minute. So it's one person each 7 minutes, 7 seconds, something like that. So it's a really powerful platform to connect for personal branding and to find a job. And let's see what is the profile? Because the profile is the tool that we have within this platform in order to showcase our experience, to express or to let them know about ourselves in terms of our story, to share our story, basically. LinkedIn, they don't talk about own experience, about education, they talk about story. We all have a story, and the place to show that story is the LinkedIn profile. So what are the difference or the main difference between the resume and LinkedIn? Some of them. Let's move quickly so we can start working on the next stuff. Maybe the main one, the goal, the resume, the CV is focused on getting an interview, while the profile, the LinkedIn profile is focused on personal branding, networking, and finding job opportunities. That's maybe the main difference. They don't replace each other. I mean, they work together. It's really important to have them both because you are going to be in the need to present a tailored CV for a specific job, but then you have your LinkedIn profile for a broader audience. You're going to be sharing your story on the network. Maybe one of the most important differences that you might have also is that in the CV, you only include relevant information for the specific job that you're applying to. But the LinkedIn profile is a social professional network. So you can include there a lot of information about yourself, media, pictures, videos, posts, and everything. I mean, really powerful. So please, Mirta, you let me know if there is a question. I'm not.
Yes, I will let you know. Don't worry.
Okay, thanks a lot. So there are some other differences and similarities, but these are the main ones. And importance here is to understand what is the profiling, how does it work, and how can we enhance this profile. So let's first understand how it's structured. Yes, we can say that basically we have like two sections or main sections. The first, which is called the introduction section, which is divided in what we call the header, where you're going to see the pictures, I mean the photos, profile photos, background photos. We're gonna see them later in a few minutes. The introduction section, where we talk about ourselves, who we are, where we work, the main focus of the main study we have, the main work experience, contact information stuff. The about section, also known as summary, is where we tell our story. Is what we tell about us. That's all within the introduction section. And then we have the other sections where we can showcase our experience, our education experience, our skills, the language we speak, the recommendations, and some other sections that are really, really useful and important. But at this stage, we understand we need to focus on the main ones, which are the ones that you will see start. Okay, so let's move on, start working on them. First of all, some basic information we need to take into account. The language. This is key to understand how LinkedIn works in terms of language. Why is that? When you create an account, you're going to be selecting a language. That's going to be the main language of your account. But then you have the chance to see the LinkedIn website in another language. For example, I have created my account in Spanish, but I have set my profile, not my profile, my account to see it, the website. I'm going to switch. Can you see my LinkedIn?
No, we're seeing your presentation.
Okay, give me 1 second then. I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to share once again everything what's on my computer. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay, great. So this is my LinkedIn account. This is how I see the LinkedIn account. As you can see, it is in English. All the titles and sections are in English. Even though I have created my account in Spanish, I have set it to see it in English. That's something that you can do from your settings. I'm going to move the images here. From your settings and privacy, you're going to find here the language, general preferences language. So here you can select what is the language that you would like to see, your LinkedIn page. This is not the profile, this is the page. Really important to understand the difference. So we can create an account in Spanish, for instance, then we can set it to see it in English, and then we can have a profile in Chinese. That's something we're going to work now. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. Can you see it now, the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, great. So the language, we said, first of all, you need to select the language you would like to see the LinkedIn page. Then you have another feature which is called content language, which is about the post. For example, I have said to translate, if I want to see them in Spanish, the information I receive in English. For example, I'm going to go back to my LinkedIn profile. Give me 1 second here. The account, not the profile yet. Let me know if you can see it.
Yes.
Okay, great. So here, for example, I have this post from Ed, who created the content in English. Because I have set the content language as Spanish, I'm invited to see the translation, so I can see it in Spanish. This is really useful because if you're receiving many posts in a different language and you don't feel really confident about that language, or you want to get the most out of the content of that post, you can action this or turn on this feature to see the translation. Okay, so we have so far 2 features: the language you see, the website of LinkedIn, the language you see the translation of the post, and then you have, this is the key point of this part of the conversation, which is you can create a profile in another language. So it means, for instance, I have my account created in Spanish, right? But then I have created, and then by default, my profile is in Spanish. As you can see my profile, everything is in Spanish, right? So the information you're going to see here in the About section, in the experience, everything is in Spanish. But because I have created a profile in English, I can see it in English as well. If I click here, I can see it in English as well. And this is the link I will be sharing with the people I'm interested to share my English link, LinkedIn. So what does it mean? Let's go back to the presentation. We can create a profile in a different language that the account was set. This is really key. You might speak Chinese and you want to have a profile in Chinese and another one in English. Each profile will have a unique link. And this is the second point, which is important to work on. We're going to talk about that now. So let's see once again the website. Here, I'm going to go back to the Spanish version. If you can see the link of the page, it says linkedin.com/in/Damian, Damian de la Libra in Spanish, Damian de la Libra / no? This is the URL of my profile, the main profile, which is in Spanish, because I have created the account in Spanish. But if I switch to English here, you're going to see a different URL. This is the one I need to share with people who speak English. Really important, really important. Another thing, how to tailor this URL. Because, and I'm gonna look for, let me see, this person. I think this is a test profile because it's not completed, it's empty. But if you see in this profile, the URL, it says linkedin.com/in John Smith and some numbers and letters, right? If you see mine in Spanish, which is the one we can tailor, is clean. It says Damian de la Libera, no? So you have here a name and some symbols, or we can find letters and numbers. And here you have just your name.
And let me tell you something, Damian,
yes.
That's a great example of the things we don't want in a LinkedIn profile, right? Because that's pretty empty. And we see this and we think this is pretty fake, right? And part of being professional means having your LinkedIn completed, as Damian will explain now, and having this URL really clean and professional with your name and last name, as Damian has.
Yes, so first tip, guys, tailor your URL. How you do that? Let's go back to my profile. Here, when you are in your profile, you're gonna find this. I can see it because I'm logged in, right? Mirta, for example, or yourself, you cannot see it. Okay, it's because I'm logged in my profile, I can see it. So you can edit your profile URL, and you can edit it from here. Let me move the fix some images. So you can edit it from here. It's important. The URL that you're editing is the one, the main one, not the one that you have created when opening the account. So in my case, it's in the Spanish version. So when I click on the English version, it's going to add some tags, and it is not really clean, but that's something we cannot control. So if you see in the English version, there's some other information which is not under my control, but it's okay. I mean, I can share the first one, and I can share the other for the Spanish speaking people and share the other one for the English speaking people. Okay, let's move on. So we have checked language of the site, language of the post, how can we read them? And then the most important, profiles in different languages. This is key. This is key. You need to have, or the recommendation is to have, at least two profiles, one in your native language and the other one in English, which is international professional language or business language. And you need to, the recommendation, the invitation to tailor your URL to be more professional, to be more clean, because that URL will be in your resume, will be in the contact information of your LinkedIn account, as we're going to see now. But let's move on. I'm going like quick because we have many things to cover. I would like to get the most part of the time, right? Let me move the Zoom bar here. So we have checked how to create the profile in another language and how to manage the URL. We're going to be sharing this presentation for you later. The next steps. Introduction section. Remember, we have introduction section with a lot of sections in within. One of them was the basic information and the photos. Now we're going to be focused on the photos. So we have two photos here we need to customize. The profile photo and the background photo. Okay, and this is really important. Let's see what are the pics. So this is my profile picture photo, and this is my background photo. Okay, and we have some tips for both of them. So in terms of the profile photo, you need to post a photo which is recent, which is you, which looks like you. So when people met you, there is some sort of coherence up in between what you see in the profile and when they met you in a Zoom call or in person. The face, a recommendation here is the face might take about 60% of the space, right? Wear what you wear when you work, no? Because this is your story. It's about being yourself. It's not about faking it. It's about being yourself. So you work in the picture what you wear when you work. Smile with your eyes. Do not use sunglasses. I have seen profiles with sunglasses. It's not professional. You cannot see the eyes of the person, which is key for relationships. And if you don't want to put a picture because it's not a custom in your country or whatever, you can create a logo. Maybe keep it simple. Maybe some of the initials and not so full stuff because it won't be seen properly, for example, in the application, in the mobile application. So that's in terms of the profile picture. In terms of the background picture, the idea is to set sort of a context and show a little bit about what matters to you. So for example, here, let's go back to my profile. Because I'm a coach, it makes sense to me to post as a background picture an image which has included a phrase, like a sentence, a quote from this person, Sir John Whitmore, who is one of the big guys within the world of coaching, right? So it makes sense for me. Let's see another. This is the thing we don't want to see, right? I'm going to keep it open just for, for showing what we don't want to. Okay, so no background picture, no profile picture, so many things not to do. Look at this profile. This person, Lauren Jola, she's the one who have created the LinkedIn course called Rock Your LinkedIn Profile, which is in the LinkedIn Learning platform. And it's free. You can take it without paying the membership. Okay, so this person is the person who most knows, we can say, about LinkedIn profile. She has a picture. Actually, she has a video here because from the mobile application, you can upload a short video about yourself, which is going to be shown here. And she has this background, okay, talking about herself because she's a connector, she's in relationships and stuff. So she says, lean on each other. She's working on this. This is what she wants to sell to the people. Okay, so we have here two samples in terms of picture. How can we customize the pictures? Pretty easy. Let me go back to edit my profile. A little bit slow. 1 second. Okay, here. So if I click here on my pic, on my photo, I'm going to have the chance to remove the photo, to edit the photo. There are some filters you can apply to select the visibility. Of course, we highly recommend to make it visible to the network, no? Because it's important for the network to understand who you are. Okay, and this is really important. Frames. What are the frames? We're going to talk about this now. Open to work feature, open to work. This is the way we tell the network that we are looking for a job, that we are open to work. This is a feature. It's basically a frame that you can add to your profile photo, and you can select who can see it. So this here, open to work tag, hashtag, actually, is the one you're going to be, the network is going to be seeing in your profile. Okay, once you activate it. So once again, you need to have a profile picture, you need to have a background picture, and if you're looking for a job, if you're open to work, you need to set this open to work feature by clicking here in frames and selecting open to work. If you are a recruiter, you can let them know that you're hiring by selecting this one. Okay, but for people who's looking for a job, open to work feature, this is how it's going to look like. Okay, right, so let's move. I won't save the changes. Okay, so we said once again how to replace or add an image here. In terms of the background picture, you can do it from here. You can select the pic from your computer. You can have some filters and stuff. About the size of the picture, what is recommended, all this information is in the help center of LinkedIn. So if you want to really have the specific size of the background picture, I recommend you to go to the help center and look for it within there. Okay, let's move on. Next point, intro section. We have seen the photo sections. Now we have the intro section, the basic information, which is about our names and our names pronunciation. And how is it like? When you create an account, you're going to be asked, of course, to fill up a form with your name. And in this case, we have the chance to fill first name, last name, and an additional name. The additional name can be a formal name, the maiden name, or a nickname. For example, this person, Lauren, she has Lauren Hipschman Shoulder, right? And if you can see beside the name, she has sort of like a speaker, right? Because she had made use of this name pronunciation feature. This is only available from the mobile application. So, and this is highly recommended, highly recommended. If you know that people is struggling when pronunciating your name, we highly recommend to make use of this feature. You go to you download the mobile application, you go to your profile, you edit the basic information, you're going to have the chance there to select a name pronunciation. It's going to give you a few seconds. You can test it and then you can save it. Really useful when you know that people might be struggling when pronunciating your name. Okay, so this is about the basic information. So far, we have the pictures, so they know how we look like, who we are. In terms of the professional setting, we have the background. It gives some sort of context. They know our names. They know how it's pronounced. So then we have the headline. The headline, which is the phrase, the sentence that you're going to see below the name. This is really important. Picture, name, and headline will be shown everywhere where your profile is shown. So In every place where someone can see your profile, they're going to see the pic, the name, and the headline. And this is really important because it's the first way we have, or the first place where we can tell our story. Remember, this is about branding, about telling our story. So this is the opportunity to represent your professional brand. And one tip recommended by Lauren is think about the big three. Think about keywords within your industry or your field. Think about what you do, showcase what you do, and highlight a skill or a passion. For example, this Lauren has Chief of Staff Champion, Queen Chaos Organizer, Dynamic Connector, right? In my case, for example, I have this, I'm going to turn it into English. It's a coach committed to change, tech enthusiasm, and Kaizen fan, right? So this is something which I feel I'm telling the network who I am, what are my interests. I'm interested in coaching applied to changes, tech savvy, and improvement. It's one of my passions. So really important to work, take a time for yourself, think about what are the keywords that best represent your industry, what about the skills or passions that you have, and pinpoint what you do. And try different headlines until you feel comfortable about that, because once again, it's about personal branding, it's about you telling your story. So far, so good?
Yes, Damian, I think
Yes.
You can name what follows and then go straight to about me section.
Okay, great,
Because
excellent.
what follows is really simple. We can do it alone,
Yes.
but the about section is really key.
Great, excellent. Let's move on. Okay, so then we have current position. This is LinkedIn is about giving you the chance to select the current position to be showcased in your header section. Not mandatory, but recommendable. About education, the same. The LinkedIn profile can showcase your last education, or the one that you select, because you can select it from your education field in the header, as you can see here in the profile of Lauren. Location and industry, it won't be shown in your profile header, but this is important to be said in order to be found. Recruiters are going to be making use of keywords when using the search application within LinkedIn, and it's gonna this search engine will track information from your location and industry. No, so it's right. So it's really important for you to upload this information in your profile as well. Contact info, pretty simple. Remember, LinkedIn URL, email address, phone number. You need to be contacted. An amazing profile without a contact information is useless. So you need to have all the information in place. Then optional, your birthday. If you have a website, maybe you're a designer, you have a portfolio, and another instant messaging application. Okay, so let's move into the about section. This is also known as the summary. Okay, this is the best place to express yourself, to tell your story. You can make use of here of the I mean, there is a text limitations. I do not remember exactly how many words you can use, but you have plenty of space here to write about you. And we have some tips here. Think about who you are. Speak in the first person. This is really important. CV and resume, you write in the third person. It's more like a formal tone. In the LinkedIn profile, it's more a conversational tone in the first person. What do you do and why it matters? What is the impact, the contribution that you make? And there's a new feature where you can add your top skills. So let's jump into the profiles. For example, here about myself. This is what I felt comfortable talking about or expressing or showing case about myself. No, because I was working on my agility course at that time when I wrote it. So I was thinking about matching coaching and agility and stuff. So I wrote this. And here are the top skills that I have selected to be shown, showcased in my profile, right? And for example, Lauren, let's go to law and profile, the about section, the one we have in the presentation. No, she has some titles and she expresses. She has some another title and she expresses. So, and as you can see, Laura and myself, we are making use of emojis, right? Something to put some color in the about section. Once again, LinkedIn profile is about branding, it's about telling your story. This is the place where you tell your story. Take a moment for yourself. Think about the keywords, about your skills, about the impact that you would like to generate, about the job that you would like to do, about your experience, anything. Try to write something that can represent your story. Okay. So far, so good. Any questions? Anything before we move forward? We have a few more minutes.
I think this is what you just said is what we really need to understand, that the about section is the opportunity for ourselves to showcase who we are and show why we're different and what we can bring into the table. And this is especially important if you still don't have a career yet, or you're starting, you're making your first steps, because this is where you share, okay, this is what I'm passionate about, this is what I know, this is what my skills are, this is what I can offer, which sometimes in a CV, this is not so much the place where we can see this, because we can say, oh, this person doesn't have much experience, or university hasn't, they haven't finished university, so may think, but no, we have lots of things to share, lots of knowledge, lots of skills, lot of interest, and this is where we can really share who we are. So I encourage you to really complete this. And as a tip, I could suggest that you could ask ChatGPT to say, hey, ChatGPT, how are you doing today? Can you help me write a powerful about me section in LinkedIn? So for all of you who doesn't have this section, ask ChatGPT. I'm sure he, she, they are going to give you some hints to write a powerful about section.
That's a really good idea. Yes. Nice. Excellent. And yes, as you mentioned, it doesn't really matter if you don't have any professional background so far, because you're starting your career, or if you have 20 years of experience. We all have a place where to share our story and what we are looking for and stuff. So experience section. Experience is about working experience section. So here, basically, you list reverse chronological order your working experience, right? As a tip, I mean, this is important. This is not like the resume. You should tell a story about what you have done in your job, and maybe just use the bullet points to showcase some results that you have achieved, right? But once again, it's all about branding. So do not copy what you have in resume, adapt it in terms of telling a story. And there is a new feature where you can add the skills to your job positions. As you can see in this LinkedIn profile, there are some skills about virtual facilitation, influencing, and stakeholder management and stuff, right? If you have volunteering experience, you can add a different section, which is called volunteering experience, from your LinkedIn profile. Let me show really quickly how it is, because you're going to be in the need to add sections. Okay, so here, for example, add profile section. You come here and you start looking for a section that you would like to add, and you can add it to your profile. Okay, really important. Okay, let's move on, because we have a few more minutes, not much. Education section, pretty much the same as working experience, but in terms of education, we suggest nobody's interested about the kindergarten that you have went to. So focus on the main stuff, your school, university, certifications, licenses. There is a specific section that you can add to your profile to showcase that. Once again, you look for add new section, licenses and certifications, and you can include that experience there as well. A skills section, this is really important. Okay, one of the numbers, we haven't seen that, but there are about 40,000 skills listed in LinkedIn. Okay, so adding your skills is gonna highlight your experience, your story, your knowledge, the value you can bring to the table. Okay, so this is really important, and we're gonna see how to do it. we have two things we can do here. First of all, three things. First of all, we select the skills. Then we can endorse other people's skills, so we can receive endorsement, and then we can take some skill assessment for some skills, not for all of them. Let's see how we can do it. So we go to the skill sections. Okay, so we have the header here, the about section, activity. Okay, this is about the post activity, whatever. The experience, working experience, education, licenses and certifications, volunteering, skill sections. Okay, you might have a different order because if you don't have the volunteer or the license and certification sections, you won't see that. But for sure, from by default, you're going to see this. Okay, so for example, you can add here a new skill. I don't know, negotiation. Okay, that it says, whatever, it's just a test. Okay, where did I put into practice this skill? Okay, in this job, in this job, in this job, right? So, and I can save it. Once I save it, it's gonna be this card. It's gonna be seen here. Okay, job coaching, 3 experiences related to this coach. I cannot see the button here to endorse my own skills. But for example, if I look for, and I know Mariana is in the call, Mariana. So I'm going to make use of your profile, Mariana Herkovich, one of the coaches we have in the team. Here, if I check Mariana profile, if I go to the skill sections, here I will be able to endorse Mariana's skill. So we suggest endorse people's skills so then they can endorse you back. Really important. The same in terms of recommendations, we're going to talk about that. So once again, first of all, select the skills that you would like to showcase. Then endorse other people's connections, skills, so you can receive endorsement as well. And then you have this new feature, not really new, but brand new, demonstrate skills where you can take a skill assessment. This is focused on hard skills, like programming or some, softwares, skill assessment for skills like Microsoft Excel, Python, SQL, and stuff. Really important. If you have one of these skills and you would like to showcase that, you can take this skill assessment. So we have talked about the skills. Add them, endorse people's skills so you can receive endorsements as well, and take the skill assessment if you find any of the skills that you're showcasing has an assessment for it. Okay, let's move on. What time is it? Okay, yes, recommendations, really important. Really important, and not many people know about this section, recommendation sections. This is more a like networking thing, right? And you're gonna be participating or invited to participate in a webinar about networking, right? So you're gonna work on this. But I would like to take a look to it because you might need to start working now. So when the times come to network, you have something to showcase. Recommendation sections. This is a place where you can ask and you can receive recommendation from your peers. People you are connected. You need to be connected, of course, with these persons in order to request a recommendation from them or to give a recommendation to them. Really easy to do. Let's say I would like to request a recommendation from one of my colleagues. So we have here, ask for a recommendation. I need to check first, okay, search for people, let's say Mariana. Okay, Mariana here. Position at the time of relationship. We worked together. She was my manager. She mentored me. Mariana mentored me. Okay, position at the time. I was working in this position, and I can send a personalized message inviting Mariana to share a recommendation on me. Okay, so this is the way we request recommendations. This recommendation request, once are written, are going to be seen here in the received recommendations. And then you have the given, because you can give recommendations. So here, once again, you can give a recommendation. The same process. You select the person, the relationship that you had when working together, the position that you were working at that time, and you can say a personalized message. It's really useful in terms of recommendation to address the people you are asking a recommendation for in terms of, remember, we have been working in this project. I would like to receive a recommendation, if you don't mind, about this. We have been working together. It was really amazing. I have learned a lot about yourself, about your skills, whatever, but try to address, okay, yes, remember, we have been working in this project. Remember, we have been working for many years in this same company or whatever. Really useful. So when the time to connect comes, you have something to showcase. You can start with your mates from school, from university, for example, exchange of recommendations, people you have been working with or studying with. Really useful. Okay. Recommendations. And okay, that was the last. It was really fast. I mean, we're on the run, right? Okay, we have, just to wrap up, we have checked how to create a profile. I'm going to be sending you the link on the chat. Once you have opened the profile, you need to include a profile photo, a background photo, a headline, of course, your names, the name pronunciation, if you think it's a good thing. Then you have the about section where you tell your story. Then you have the experience, your work experience, the education experience. Then you have the skills that you have. Remember, you can take assessments on some of them. You can you can endorse the skills, and you can receive endorsement back. And then you have the recommendation section where you can recommend people or ask for recommendations. So just as a final thought or recommendation, once again, your LinkedIn profile is not your resume. It's a professional landing page for you to manage your own personal brand. Let your story shine. Make use of the about section and the headline. And remembering the experience, it's not the resume. Tell a story, what you have done. And then bullet point some of the achievements. And then you don't need to tackle all the profile at once. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. So we suggest to carve out some small, or it's a lot of times, maybe each week, you can work first on the intro, photos, basic information, headline, and contact information. Then in the next week, in the about section, it will take time. You might need to reflect on your skills, your story, your passions, your experience, then your work experience, your education experience, the skills, take assessment, endorse people's skills, and then recommendations and give requests. And remember, you have plenty of other sections you can add, but that's in the second place, we can say.
Excellent. And I want to remind everyone, as we said, LinkedIn has many purposes, which is telling your story. We do that by sharing, by following all the recommendations that David just showed with us. And of course, LinkedIn has the gives us the great opportunity of connecting with other people. So remember that when you are connecting with other people, that means two things: that you can follow someone. Maybe you can show us that, yeah. Damien. We can follow someone, or we can add someone to our network, just like I am just now receiving invitations from you. Every time that you send a connection, you see here we can follow this person or we can connect. If we follow, means we are going to see what the other person shares, okay? But that doesn't mean that this person will be added to our network. When we connect with someone, this person is added to our network. And I really recommend that you send a message to connect, okay? Just don't send a connection request if you don't know the person, just out of the blue. Send a message. And I invite you to practice with me. Send me a connection request and send me a message. Say, hey, Mirta, my name is Ahmad. I'm connecting from Virtual Internships. I'm doing my virtual internship. I'd like to add you to my professional network. Always send a message when you're adding someone new to your network, especially when they don't know you, so they know who you are, and in this way you are connected. So let's, someone is asking, What advices you could give for engineering student who aims to find internships on LinkedIn? Like what preparations should I make on my profile and kind of posts should I share? David, do you have any ideas?
Yes, in my understanding, an internship, a job experience, a partnership, it's all about the same. It's about you sharing your story. So if you have already participated in an internship, you can, within the working experience, you can add that experience and you can share what you have learned, the skills. You can list the skills. That's really key. Remember, when you're starting, people might not be looking for years of experience, but for skills as value that you can bring to the table of the company. So it's really important. I have learned this skill, I have improved this other skill. You can list them in the work experience. In the about section, you can talk about, okay, I have participated in this internship, I have learned lots. I'm really interested in joining a company, like your desires. And always, once again, share your story. This is the value I can bring to the table. This is me. Once again, do not fake it, because it's about you showcase your style. You're gonna have interview then to dive deep into some more formal things. This is you telling your story in the work experience in the about section.
Yes, that's that's a really nice piece of advice. So use your about section to showcase projects you worked on, skills, what you're looking for, and also join groups. Join your university graduate, university engineering group. There are plenty of groups on LinkedIn for internships. So really go look for alumni groups. And also next week, not next week, next webinar, we will have a webinar dedicated to networking on LinkedIn. And we're gonna see this in detail. Today's sessions, the idea is like the basics of LinkedIn, okay? So the basics is what we've shared, the picture, the background picture, the headline, the about you section, and the main sections we need to complete. Always knowing that when we connect, we send a message and we can ask for recommendations and skill endorsements. That's what's gonna make your profile interesting. And also remember, when you finish your virtual internship, you can ask your supervisor or your colleagues to share a recommendation, okay? But that means that you have to have your LinkedIn profile already created and nicely shared, right? So someone is asking, could you describe what is a coaching call and what should I prepare while in coaching? Excellent question. I will answer that question in just a minute. Do we have any final questions about LinkedIn profile, or can you share what you are taking away from this session? Better said, what is one thing that you're gonna do after this webinar ends to make sure that your LinkedIn profile is really great? Who can share? Who can share in the chat or using the mic? What is one thing that they're going to do after this webinar to make sure? You could do many, many things, right? But I'm just curious about what is one thing that you are going to do to make sure your LinkedIn profile really shines. Naja says, I will have 2 languages to my profile. Yes, yes, I assume you speak Arabic, so it will be nice to have your LinkedIn in your native language, also in English. That gives you more chances. Also update my skills. Yes, definitely update your skills. Update your skills.
I'm back. My internet failed.
Yes, we saw. You can have a premium LinkedIn, although if you have the normal version, not paid version, it works as well. It works really well. I don't have a paid LinkedIn profile and it works perfectly.
I do agree. I guess the question was about the LinkedIn Premium. In my understanding, LinkedIn Premium is really good for sending private messages to those people who has not opened the profile mainly, but it's limited as well based on the membership that you.
Yes, you don't need to pay. It's really not necessary. Someone asking what's your advice about feeling a little bit shy? about writing your own experience or sharing some story and you feel a little bit uncomfortable? Well, really think that your goal is to connect with people, find potential opportunities. So really you want to share something that represents you. Oh, at the same time, for instance, if you don't feel comfortable sharing a picture of you, don't leave that empty. Create a logo for your personal branding. Okay, perhaps you can use your initials and put a logo of these initials instead of a photo of your face if you don't feel comfortable, but don't leave it empty. It really is about thinking, okay, what could I like people to know about me? It doesn't have to be personal. When we're talking about a personal story, yes, we can include some personal touch, but it doesn't have to be about intimate things, right? It can be about things that we are proud of, things that we have achieved, things that other people praise us, right? Oh, you are really good at doing this and that. And yes, Mariana is sharing a great tip here. We can see, remember to edit your URL to make sure that this looks professional. Okay, guys, so do we have any last questions? I think we've covered pretty much the really basic and powerful about LinkedIn. I really hope you, after this webinar, you all go to include a really nice professional looking picture of yourself, a background picture, a nice headline with keywords about your industry, what you know, and a nice about section telling your story. And then don't forget to complete your experience, which you will have one after your virtual internship. You will be able to have a professional experience. If you don't have yet one, you will have after your virtual internship. So make sure you update your CV, your LinkedIn, then your education section, and remember skills and recommendations. Okay. Yes. And I will keep on waiting all your connection requests with a nice message, and then don't forget to edit your URL. Okay. So Damian, this was a pleasure.
Thank you so
having
much
you. And Damian, you're also a coach, right? Someone asked, what are coaching calls in our programs and why they should attend? What can you quickly tell us?
Yes, of course. Yes, it's pretty simple. It's a moment for yourself to reflect about the internship experience. We have two coaching calls, one at the midpoint and one at the end, right? During the midpoint coaching call, we'll reflect about the first few weeks during the program, the challenges that you have faced, the highlights that you have achieved, and we plan out the second half of the internship. We set future goals. We keep it simple. The idea is you can get the most out of the program experience. At the end of the internship, we are going to be more focused on next steps, about your career next steps. So we're going to be defining or working on a vision for the next 5 years, how to get there. What are the tools that you have, your toolkit, your strength? What are the things that you might need to learn to achieve that goal, so that vision, the potential barriers, the support system that you can count on. And then we're gonna also set a few actions in terms of employability. For example, improve your LinkedIn account, improve your resume. And this is really important. What we have gone through today is just the first step. You are going to be always on the need to be working on your LinkedIn profile because it's dynamic, because we are not the same people we were 5 years ago or 1 year ago. So we might need to adapt the about section for the new moment we're living, what we want to tell these people, the network now. And we have new experiences to share as well, new courses we have completed, new skills we have. So this is dynamic. We are going to be always working on that. We're going to include that as an action point in the final coaching code as well. So make a moment for yourself and book your course.
Excellent, thank you. So you probably received an email to book your call. If you haven't, you will receive. Don't worry, there's nothing for you to do there. And excellent. So does anyone want to say anything? I see Adam, you have your hand raised. Do you want to share any final comment? Okay, maybe not. Well, thank you everyone for having visited us today. Remember, our next webinar is about how to network on LinkedIn. So it's going to be the second part of this webinar. So make sure you prepare your LinkedIn profile following all the great recommendations we gave. So next time we are really able to dive deep into networking through LinkedIn. So I wish all of you an excellent day. Hope you had a wonderful session, and I like to see all your invitations with a nice message and your LinkedIn improved. Okay, bye everyone, have a wonderful day.